All right, so the clock is 6 p.m. 1 minute European time, Eastern European time. So we're good to start. So those who are joining later, just join later. Basically, the topic of today is loyalty programs ensure your customers return. First of all, just a little bit about me, about my background, why I'm here. So my name is Arseny. I'm the conversion rate optimization and user experience strategist at scandiweb, the company which stands by this webinar, organized with their support, of course. So we are a growth marketing agency. We also have development services, and my specific role is to develop customer experience strategy for the clients, doing customer experience audits, different types of research, and also I'm leading programs for A/B testing for clients, basically generating ideas for what could be improved on the websites, and then generating data, understanding whether these improvements are really working or not, and then coordinating their implementation on the website if the test was successful, right? In terms of education, I have a bachelor's in economics and business from the Stockholm School of Economics here in Riga, and my specialization was in retail. So there, I understood that really my passion is about understanding how we can improve customer experience in different settings. So it's not just about digital, but I'm quite passionate about the omnichannel experience, thinking about how we can improve experience throughout the whole journey of the customer, both offline, online, right, in different channels. And actually, my bachelor's thesis was about trust in social commerce. So we were comparing how factors of trust in e-commerce website transferred to the social commerce. So that was quite interesting to explore, and that also helped in this journey. And actually today you will see that trust is one of the key components, of course, of loyalty. Quite obvious, but another thing is just one of the components. But we'll talk about them in more detail, of course. In terms of background and interests, I'm coming from the life of technology startups. I have a startup myself. Also, my strong side is helping curate ideation and problem solving, basically helping teams solve the real problem and really come from a vision to an execution plan to bring some ideas to life and optimizing some processes. So basically, outside of work life, I'm still kind of on this user journey, customer experience part when improving customer experience in other contexts as well, within companies, where customer is an employee, but still the same view in all. So that's about me. And today, the topic is loyalty programs, right? Maybe you've seen this promotional photo, maybe not. But basically, when you don't have your customers' loyalty, they look at other companies, right? So they don't look at you. You are surprised, disappointed, but they go away. And what we must say is that customers are always on the lookout for better offerings. So that's why it's really important to keep them loyal to you. And today we'll talk about how to do it. And yeah, why is it important? Not just for them to stay, but basically what are the things that improve your business if your customers are with you, how to measure that. So in terms of what I really want you to get out of this, right, for you, the value that we want to give you in this webinar is first to understand that loyalty program is a powerful tool for enabling your audience, right? So basically having a dedicated, structured, and well thought through program for loyalty really can help you enable your existing customers and get more and more revenue out of that group, okay? So we also want to show that it's not about, just random offers, but it's a structured approach to how you provide more value to your customers so that they bring more money in the end to you. Second is, I really want you to realize that loyalty program is not just about some card or only some points. It's really about the whole journey, right? So there, it also connects with my, my passion to look at the whole journey. It's actually the right approach to keep in mind the whole user journey when thinking about certain improvements. But basically, the idea of this webinar is also to show you that loyalty program should be integrated in the whole user journey. It's omnichannel, offline, online, but also with business processes, right? So when you are growing and developing your loyalty program, it's really important to establish processes within your business, within your company that help it help you to carry it out. Okay. And the third thing is get some useful insights about starting a loyalty program if you don't have one, or as majority of businesses have some form of loyalty program, the ways of stepping it up, right? And in a structured manner, which is important. So not just, thinking, all right, we should offer that, we should offer this, but really having a comprehensive framework and really using it to approach this in a structured manner. In terms of agenda, formally, we'll have 3 parts and a bonus part, but basically the first will be about defining customer loyalty and loyalty programs, right? What that is, what that implies, what's important for users there. Then we'll also talk about how to measure success of the loyalty program and also its impact on the business overall within the broader context. And we'll also talk in the third part about building your customer loyalty program, basically how you start and or grow and excel, right? So it's about whether you have a program and you want to step it up, or how do you start thinking about it. Right. So let's start by defining the customer loyalty and also customer loyalty program. So looking around, this was one of the good definitions of what customer loyalty is, quite neatly put. Basically, it's the act of choosing one company's products and services consistently over its competitors. Okay, so here what we have is we have choosing, right? One company's products. We have consistently, so time over time, we have retention, we have returning customers to us, and over its competitors. So we have 3 things here that matter that you need to think about when you're positioning what you're giving to your customers to make them return, to make your offering appealing to them. So to visualize it, back to our visual, basically you want to prevent these situations from happening. You want your customer to look only at you with beloved eyes and maybe bring other people to you as well, right? Grab their hand and refer them to you because you have such a good loyalty program. And actually data shows that people really do refer, like 70 or 60% of people really do refer their friends to companies with good loyalty programs. So we want to achieve that, okay? But what impacts customer loyalty to a brand, right? We want them to stick with us. We don't want them to go away to other company. There are several aspects to it, of course. And as I mentioned in the beginning, trust is just one of them. But it's quite an important one. So whether you are delivering on what you're promising, whether your shipping really takes that time that it takes, whether the products, of course, that you're selling are coinciding with what they get, right? The quality, basically, what you're communicating, is this real for the customer when they get involved with you? That's one thing. Another thing, of course, is availability of great deals. So, of course, people love premium brands, which, have everything expensive or, have a good product. But of course, they will be more likely to return to you if you have some good deals to them. Maybe some lower price or maybe some special offers. It's not just about lowering the price. It's about how you offer and what you offer in terms of the products you have. Could be bundles like that, okay, etc. So also an important thing is authenticity and humane interaction. People want to stick with brands that are humane. So you can feel that there's a person on the other side. So it comes down also to such small details as having, just info or contact at your website name, or having a person at, James at website.com. So it's just such small details, but also, of course, the way connected quite with customer service, the way they get the response and how they're communicated with when they approach you with some question, with some issue, with some problem. So it's another important thing. And of course, the personalized experience. Okay, so if a person comes to a brand and the brand really did their good job, good homework in learning about what the customer wants, what the customer needs, and really offers them in a personalized way, this, of course, increases the likelihood that the customer will stay with that brand, not with another brand, Okay, so might be quite straightforward, but it's just those things that definitely have to be thought about, in overall customer loyalty, not just about specific loyalty programs, but basically, how do you keep your customer? How do you make them return? All right. But in terms of specific loyalty programs, right, when you have some specific efforts aimed at keeping customers with you and providing them more value, kind of building the relationship further, there are three main groups of things, basically, that people expect from loyalty programs, right? And in the report where this from, where it was summarized, it's actually saying about 2023 what customers expect from loyalty programs in 2023. So here's an outlook, three main things: experience, transparency, and flexibility. Okay, so it's all moving towards more experiential interaction with brands. So the customers really enjoy this personalized experience, and it matters for them even more than lower prices oftentimes. Okay, so for example, you come into a restaurant and you would prefer a restaurant that gives you a superb experience, a more personalized approach to you than a restaurant that has same good food but lower prices. So it's about atmosphere, especially in restaurants. Okay, but if we have a website, same thing. Okay, so if you have some offers tailored to your preferences, you have to spend less energy on finding what you need. You will often be more willing to pay a premium for that. Okay, so price is not that it's not measuring that much anymore. Another thing is transparency about loyalty programs. So you, as a customer, you need clarity on how the rewards are earned, what the progress towards them is, and how to redeem them. Basically, it has to be clear, how do you get your points, where you are with them, how many of them you have, if those are points, for example, which is typical for loyalty programs, and how do you redeem them. The process has to be super clear, and you don't have to contact customer support, which would be the worst case scenario, to kind of to redeem your points or to understand where you are. So you have to have a simple interface with that. And flexibility, you have to be able to have different, use your points or redeem rewards through different channels, and have different redemption options, have different level of participation in the program in terms of how active you could be to earn something, so that it doesn't require you to do massive effort to earn some points, so that some people who would be less active, they would get at least some reward, so at least something they get in terms of their participation. And similarly about the data, if you require a lot of data from the customer in order for them to get some rewards, it may kind of get them away from that program, because it's asking too much from them. So flexibility, different channels, different levels of participation, and data sharing. So those three things are kind of general three main important things for customers that they expect from loyalty programs in 2023, as was said in the report. Now, talking about the types of loyalty programs, okay? Basically, Shopify identified four main groups. Okay, so you have points-based, you have tiered, you have paid programs, and you have value-based programs. But of course, those are basically, you can look at these as different features. So probably good loyalty programs that you would see online or elsewhere, they wouldn't be just points-based, or they wouldn't be just tiered or just paid. So it could be more like a mix, but it's just, let's look at this more like as groups of features, types of features of loyalty programs that you may have. So four big groups. So points-based is, probably the most familiar one for you, for everyone, is basically where you have to gather some points, and for that you get certain rewards, right? Tiered is a bit more sophisticated in terms of, so you get different rewards or different levels of rewards based on your commitment to this program, right? Based on your level of participation. Then there are paid programs or premium programs, so where you have some subscription fee. So there, customer probably doesn't, so basically the main value proposition for the customer is not the lower price, because basically they're paying, why would they get a lower price, But there, the motivation more is about the other benefits that they get when they are enrolled in the program. Okay, and we'll have an example, quite a familiar example for everyone, where we'll see how this plays out. And value-based, it's about aligning with the customer's values, and it's not maybe necessarily offering them something, a discount in return for their participation, but more of showing that with their participation, you are supporting certain values. So some charities, you're donating some money somewhere, you're supporting some certain causes. So that's what the loyalty program is. And here the essence for the user is that, all right, I am with this brand, I'm loyal to them because they are supporting causes that are important to me, that are coinciding with my values. All right. So just an example for each type. So for points-based, Starbucks, basically you can gather certain number of points, and you get to select a reward based on the amount of these points. Quite simple, quite familiar, quite popular brand. I know, I think everyone knows Starbucks. Basically, that's an example of how it works. An example for a tiered program could be from Farfetch. Basically, they have different tiers for their loyalty program called Access. You basically enter each tier with a bigger amount of money that you spend. Okay, and you have different levels of rewards on each tier. So this is kind of tailored to your spending. An example for a paid program, right, quite familiar to everyone, is Amazon Prime. So you pay something, and you not necessarily you get some lower price, and I think they don't even offer lower price. But basically, the main value there is free shipping or some exclusive products that you get access to when you're all in the program. And some access to some other products as well, some services like Prime Video or Amazon Music, right? So some specific offers, a person pays, and not the lower price they get, but they get some additional values, which might be more important in that case to them. And an example from the Body Shop for value-based programs, basically they show that you collect the points and you can change the world with your points. Right? Basically, what they do is you collect the points, and for each collected number of points, they donate to some charity or they support some cause with that. Okay, so here the value for the customer is that they see that if they spend with the brand, they get to support the cause that is of value to them. Right? So kind of channeling the impact on the world through a brand. So that's what's important in value-based programs for people. Okay, so just for examples, but just to tell you, so each of these programs, maybe less about Amazon, but basically other companies, they also have other features. They also have the points based system, for example, in Farfetch. They are united. So just as I said, when I told you about the types of programs, it's about types of features that you can have in the programs, and they could and probably should be combined to make it work even more effectively. All right. Now, this is, the basics how the loyalty programs work. You have rewards. People are motivated for repeated purchases, wherever those rewards are those discounts or some additional things, or those are some charities that you donate to. So they're motivated for repeated purchases at your company, and sales improve. Okay, so that's the basics. That's obvious, but how that really impacts the numbers. Okay, so how that really works in terms of numbers. So here are several numbers which show that the loyalty program is the most efficient way to increase purchase frequency and also the rate of recommendation to other people by those customers. Okay, so this is more about North America, but actual reports show that similar tendencies also for other countries, worldwide. Basically, the idea is that people shop there more frequently. If you have a good loyalty program, customers spend more when not just frequency, but also the amount of spending, and also basically they also refer people more often, refer to friends if you have a good loyalty program. Some more numbers, maybe a couple of key things. Is basically more transactions per member are taking place 3.5 times, right? So that's a lot. And 60% higher likelihood of people spending with your program if it's paid, right? So one feature of a program could be it's a paid program. And actually, McKinsey showed that 60% higher likelihood of people spending with a paid program, loyalty program, than with free programs. For free programs, it's like 30% higher. So loyalty program impact can be increased if it's paid. Just think about it, right? So people pay for the program, but if it's set up correctly, they can be spending even more in this case. And what's interesting is that recently, like lately, people are more interested in getting loyalty rewards in the form of cryptocurrencies. All right, as the cryptocurrency is getting more adoption. Right now, the market is going a bit of a chaos, but that's an interesting thing to consider as people are getting more involved with crypto. Could be a good way also to get the rewards that way. And three main trends from Antavo report. These are the guys who are providing a good solution for establishing loyalty program, but basically they made a report for an overview on 2023, basically three trends. Strategic partnerships, where more emphasis is put on involving some partner offers in your loyalty programs, so that rewards are not just some discounts or some products from your offering, but also from partners. And that kind of builds more of an ecosystem and gives the user more motivation, even more motivation to join your loyalty program, because it gives them more opportunity of choice where they can benefit from it. Another thing is quite a technical one, but basically it gives you more data, card linking to the loyalty program. So basically it means linking the user's card to their loyalty program, to their loyalty account. So when they spend with a card, they can, in the app or in their account, automatically connect their reward to the card. So they don't have a hassle when they come to pay. They don't have to show anything. They don't have to carry with them a physical card, God forbid. But basically, they just pay with their card and the reward is already there. But it's a bit quite technical and more complex, but the benefit is there. You have more granular transaction data about users. And the third thing is supporting ESG causes. So this refers a bit to this type of loyalty, value-based programs. But basically, it's more and more important for people to see that through loyalty programs, they are supporting some causes together with the company. So that's another thing that companies are tending to include more and more into their loyalty programs. All right, so that's about loyalty overall, loyalty programs, and where it's all going. Now, how do we measure success of our loyalty program? Now, there are several program KPIs that we highlight here. Of course, the first of them is return on investment, right? So how much money the program brings relative to the cost of this implementation. So the benchmark for the companies that the guys at Antavo and Cheetah Digital surveyed is 4.9 times, right? So if the loyalty program is set up correctly, you can know that by having your return on investment almost 5 times. Okay, so that's quite impressive. Another thing is adoption rate, is basically how much revenue is coming from your loyalty program, or how big part of your audience in total is coming from your loyalty members. Okay, and the benchmark is almost half, basically 44.8%. Also, there's another KPI, redemption rate, which is total points spent versus total points issued. How big part of the points are really redeemed? So you can say that your program is quite successful if it's around 48.6% that points are redeemed. Okay. Another thing is repeat purchase rate. So repeat customers, the part of repeat customers out of total buying customers. So there the benchmark is from 20 to 40%, but basically it's also a thing that shows how successful your program is. And of course, the customer lifetime value, basically total spend by a member of your loyalty program throughout their history with your company. Okay, so basically those 5 main KPIs that we identified here are some numbers that really can hard data show you how well your program is performing. But of course, it's about measuring, how the program itself performs. It's really important also to see it within the broader context of how the business performs overall. So here are some broader context KPIs, if you will, here that can show, all right, so we implemented the loyalty program, and here's what the impact was on the overall business. So not just about the performance of the program itself, but how our business overall benefited from implementing the loyalty program. Okay, so the customer lifetime value is also such a general metric as well, but there are a couple of other ones which can show, the big picture when the program is implemented. So net promoter score, customer loyalty index, customer effort score. So basically showing how effortful it is to solve some issue or return a product. So if you haven't solved something with your loyalty program there, this score could be higher, so higher effort, right? So repeat customer rate, we have purchase frequency and average order value. So by these metrics, you can see, all right, so we have implemented a loyalty program. Here's what our big picture business performance looks like afterwards. And you can measure whether that was successful or, how successful that was. Now, talking about how the loyalty programs could look like, let's have a look at some examples, how they could work, what they could be like. So one loyalty program quite popular, mentioned in different reports all over online, is Sephora's Beauty Insider, where they can earn, customers can earn rewards for purchases basically on those point systems. But we can see here how it's combined also with tier system, right? So they have points, but they also have different levels of the rewards based on how much you are spending. Okay, and here the good thing is that they quite effectively strike this balance between having this combination of points and tiers, and they are quite well distributed by those levels. All right, and they have quite many members there, 25 million, and actually majority of sales is made by members. Okay, it's free to join. So as far as I learned, they do have this action to join. But basically, most people do join and they do get those benefits. So they were quite successful in enrolling people in there. Another example is North Face's Explore Pass. Basically, this is more an example of this experiential, of this value-based program, where they put the emphasis on, all right, you're gathering points, but more emphasis here is on more the experience that you get, because as rewards, you can get experience to some trips, to some travels, to some climbing experiences. So that's what they put emphasis on, aligned with their branding, with their values. But it's not just about giving discounts; it's more about experiential. Okay, so it's creating a better emotional connection with the customers. Another example, we briefly mentioned this one in the beginning. But basically, the idea here is that you spend more, you get to a higher tier, you get different types of rewards. All right. So there are different types of rewards, not just so it's about free shipping. You get some on higher tiers, you get a stylist, access to a stylist who helps you choose the clothes. So you can see that rewards are really tailored to what the business is doing, basically what the customer plans to do there, and they are simplifying this for them with this program. What they did really well, it's easy to join. It's really, once you create an account and you make your first purchase, you are automatically enrolled. Okay, so there's this principle of easy joining, but then about the tiers themselves. So they offer those rewards really tailored in a tailored way to customer segments that they have. So they have people who shop occasionally, so they offer them different things, more relevant things for those people than, for example, to private customers who shop really, they bust out their wallet on the Farfetch website. So they have really more this VIP approach. They have the stylist for them. Okay, so basically this program really strikes this well about tailoring to different customer segments, not just you spend more, you get more, but what you get when you spend a certain amount. Okay. Right. Then we also have an example of the program that we worked with. That's one of our clients, actually our biggest client. We have a digital loyalty card here. It's called Sportland ID. And here the idea is that the person that enrolls in the program, they get a permanent discount. And they also have some exclusive deals by having this convenient functionality integrated into my account. So create an account. You have a QR code there you can show at the shop, so it's an omnichannel experience. You also have the Apple Wallet functionality, where you can also easier access it. You don't even have to go to your account, but you have this Apple ID. And on the store employee side, they also have this QR code scanning app, which they can conveniently scan to validate your discount. Okay, so here is just a case of where we helped create this functionality of the loyalty program, which would work really in an omni-channel way. Okay, right. So we looked at some examples. We understood what customer loyalty entails, what customer loyalty programs and what they're going. We also looked at some examples of the loyalty programs. Now talking about building. So either you start and grow in Excel, or you have already a loyalty program and you want to step it up. So how do you do that? First of all, is to consider and keep in mind some of the best practices. Okay. One of them is make it easy to join and use. So basically, we saw an experience with Farfetch, especially. So it's almost automatic. When you made your first purchase, you are already enrolled because of the principle of how this program works. The more you spend, the higher you get. But basically, they remove this action of really enrolling to something. You're automatically enrolled, more seamless. Okay, that's one thing. Have simple rules. Of course, it really needs to be clear of how to participate, how to enroll. Okay, how to redeem your rewards. Okay. Farfetch itself also has very clear explanation. Okay, so you are at this level. How do you get to this level? What do you get? How do you redeem? Okay, tailored to the target customer. So when you are especially starting out with a loyalty program, you know where to start. So very important thing is to, all right, understand who is our target customer, who are we targeting, and what is their user journey. Okay, and at which points in the user journey can we introduce some reward to them for the user to have a better user experience. Okay, so and then you can learn about that target customer more and tailor it even more. But then you can also understand what other segments you have and then expand the program to them. But first, it has to be focused on the target customer, and then also utilize the data to improve the offering. Loyalty programs give really a lot of first-party data, basically data from the customer, straight from the customer. And so you can learn from what people are doing with their points, what they are also shopping, because you also have their details. You can see what that account is purchasing. You can improve your offering based on that. Okay, so you're seeing some product is more popular. You understand how to highlight that. Or you're understanding some patterns in what categories are more popular. So you work on those categories more. So that really gives you the data that you should utilize and not just focus on, giving some discounts to people, but also learn and improve on what you're giving to them. Another thing is offer choice in selecting rewards. So basically give a diverse offering of rewards. So not just, a cup or a tote, but if you're offering some products in reward, give some choice. From that, you can also learn because what people are choosing some mugs more frequently. Maybe it's a silly example, but basically maybe they're drinking tea or coffee more, than bringing things with them more. Or you can offer them different things to put a discount on, and then you can learn. All right, they are more frequently redeeming the coupon on certain type of products. So that's the category that's really more interesting to them. So that's more information, more data about that customer segment. Then learn and adapt to changing needs, quite needed trait in any area of the business and loyalty as well. But basically, the market is changing, the customer preferences are changing. So part of this learning from the data is also understanding what new trends, what changes in the purchasing behavior we have for our loyalty program members. And of course, utilizing partnerships. So that's one of the big trends, but it's also a big value for users and for the companies when you offer partnerships, partner offers there. Okay, so that's another thing as a best practice to consider. But overall, to start and or grow your loyalty program, you need a comprehensive framework for that. Because it starts first, of course, you start basic, you start with some simple discounts, you start with, less personalization, but more of straightforward transactional value. but then you grow it step by step, gradually, and you get to a full integrated platform, meaning you're already more personalized with the customers. You can offer them more tailored rewards. You can also offer them more diverse rewards, right? To not just give them discounts or some things, you can also give experiences, right? But to get through that, you need a comprehensive framework, basically a structure of how to do that step by step. And we actually offer that, right? How can we go without presenting how we help in this? But basically, I will tell you how we do this, how we help to come up with this, and how you could think about it, and also with our help, okay? Basically, the comprehensive framework we have is an assessment of where the loyalty program is right now and what are the gaps, okay? So our framework has four areas. It's about where we are with personalization, where we are with the data, where we are with user retention, and where we are with the technology to provide some offering in terms of the loyalty program. Okay, and basically the program gets evaluated, gets a customer loyalty score, and then the gaps are evaluated to get the higher score, and the work is done. To be more precise, basically, when you go from no loyalty or just simple level of loyalty program to really more sophisticated one, there are several levels you need to go through. Okay, so you can't jump straight from no loyalty to super dedicated, super sophisticated program, but we help you, and you really should think about it as going through it step by step. So first, you have single channel transactional, like just on your website, you have some discount to sign up to the newsletter or create an account. There's some basic data gathering like email, maybe gender, to show the relevant products in emails, some free shipping, some purchase discount, basically some simple and quite transactionally focused offering, right? So just some transactional value, some monetary value. Then the next step is you make it a little bit more sophisticated, right? So you have some tiers based on spend, because you have learned already something about your customers in the first step. Then you have some digital loyalty, which is more omni-channel. So you have a digital loyalty card like we had with the Sporting example, but you can use it in the offline store as well if you have any. Basically free gifts, extra service, some cashback, basically growing more and more things that you offer to the customers already in this omni-channel kind of level. Then next level is experience-based. So you build up on the previous levels with more offline perks, events, VIP community, loyalty hub, first-party data gathering from all these things. So you are offering more experiential things, right? Like we saw from North Face example, you have more things where people participate themselves, and it's not just monetary value. It's more sophisticated in a way that you are talking to people's emotions and not just their willingness to save money. Okay, and it's much more valuable and much more powerful to create this loyal relationship with your customers. And this ultimate state where you want to go and where we want to help you go is individual personalization, where you have really tailored offers to each customer because you have all this data based on the previous levels of the loyalty program efforts, and you really can build good offering to certain customer segments, right? And you also can even personalize the customer experience in terms of the website, how it looks for certain segments of customers. It also can address expectations better, and can also nudge those people who are entering and they're from certain segment better to what they need. Okay, so you're really addressing preferences and needs. And then also customer data platform. Basically, it's like you can imagine it like an account of, a profile of a person with all their preferences, all their data about the different channels they're coming from, the email, the different social media they're using, and basically with all that data, you can power this ultimate personalization that you're working to. Okay, so basically, briefly, that's the journey where you evaluate where you are, and you go through these things step by step to go to the ultimate level of the loyalty program, which is really embedded in your business processes, because you really need to dedicate resources to build up on this data and really utilize it in the proper way, to build this offering, to understand how you can improve this customer experience. Okay, and we can help you with that through our scandiweb loyalty accelerator. So that's our offering here. Okay, we can help you reshape your loyalty program in 30 days. So first of all, we benchmark your program. As you saw the circle, that's kind of the symbol of how, what understanding you get and we get about the loyalty program state. Understand where the gaps are and how to fill them in to improve the score, to understand how to move to the next stage, and then implement those changes and measure customer lifetime value increase. Okay, so our guarantee is that we will help you increase this customer lifetime value through an improved loyalty program in a structured manner through this framework that we have, quite comprehensive. All right. So here's the bonus that we have. So if you are one of the first 2 people, teams, companies to reach out to me via this email, we will give you free assessment of your loyalty program state in the first 30 days or so. I'll say it would even take quicker for the assessment. Basically, reach out to me and you'll get that. So we are about to wrap up and have our Q&A session. But basically, we discussed what does the customer loyalty entail and what is important for customer loyalty programs, what the customers expect. We also saw how to measure what KPIs matter for the loyalty programs itself, and also how to see the impact on the overall business picture, and also some examples of well-designed loyalty programs. And in the third part, we also took a look how to start and grow and excel at the loyalty program building in a structured manner, right? So we presented also our comprehensive framework and also presented to you, of course, the opportunity to do that with us and really bring your business to the next level because of the better relationship with your customers. So on this, thank you for your attention. Hope you gained a good overview of what loyalty and loyalty programs are and how they work and how to excel at them. And I'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you. Okay, we've got our question. So can you speak to how well Magento 2.0 supports or higher supports customer loyalty programs? So I'm not a technical person, right? So I'm more about, I'm understanding more about the overall content and overall structure of the loyalty programs. But basically, we had a case study with a client of ours where they had some request of broader functionality on Magento. So the idea there was that they only had the native extension, which allowed unlimited functionality, basically adding some points after some order has been placed. So the problem there was the native extension didn't allow all the functionality that was needed for a really full-fledged loyalty program. So the answer here was to create some custom functionality. Okay, so kind of the answer to the question, how well Magento supports. In some cases, it's not enough with the native, what they have already. Some custom development is needed. And that's what we did in our case. Another thing is, for example, to have a master module or some additional apps or plugins to allow some extra functionality, which typically would be needed. So the answer is Magento is not able to do everything, but there are ways to do it. Okay. All right. So which are the platforms that your program supports? Okay. So here again, I would need to direct your question to our technical team, but there are plenty of different applications that, we would just tailor them to each case. So as I mentioned, a couple of things that we have used were Amasti and Yotpo platforms. There's plenty out there, and we'll be able to find the best solution, customized to the case. Okay. Hope that answered the question. Right. So there's another question. When you measure return on investment, do you take sales lift into account? So basically, the idea is that, you measure when you implement the program, you measure the revenue that it generated, and you compare it to the cost that was invested into the loyalty program. Okay. Typically, it's about 2 years from what we found out in the reports, but basically about 2 years, maybe sometimes less, to basically start generating positive ROI. But typically, companies say that the ROI is positive. In terms of, do you take sales lift into account? Basically, it's a bit separate. If you want to kind of see the impact of the program, you can measure, from that point we had the loyalty program. For that point, the sales was like this compared to the previous comparable period, right? But the ROI itself is from the moment the loyalty program has been introduced, and around 2 years it could be. Okay, so like two separate things. Sales lift you can measure, but it's a bit separate as how I'm seeing it from the ROI of the program that you measure separately. There's a question in the chat as well. So, all right, there are several questions. Okay, sorry guys, I was looking only in the Q&A box. Okay, let's get it. So, is Magento better than WordPress? So, depends on what you are looking for. Okay, so we are Magento experts at scandiweb. I mean, not me personally, but our development guys who are just Magento magicians. Magicians, if you could say. But basically, of course, it's all dependent on what you want from your website. So for e-commerce, we are seeing that Magento is one of the leading solutions because of the customization opportunities and the way how you can manage your content, manage your products, and also the data from that. But of course, to each individual case, it should be different. You can write to our team at, I think it's at care@scandiweb.com to find out more for your specific case if interested. Okay. Another question is, have you used Referral Factory before? Not sure, not on my knowledge. And I think I haven't seen in our case studies that our other team members used it. Do you suggest it? If you do, we will take a look for sure. Okay. Right. So another question was, well, from Humberto, what do you think about loyalty solutions for e-commerce where the customer has to redeem her points in a separate app or widget to get a coupon that can in turn be used at checkout? Is this a good user experience? Okay. So one key thing, one key keyword here is having this available in different channels. If you are making them use your app to redeem the coupon, it's limiting and it's pushing something onto your users. Okay, so key here, you can do an app, but make it not only channel. So the key thing here is to offer also to do through account, like we had in some cases, also perhaps link it to cart, but it's like super advanced, but basically have some easier or some different channels also to redeem the points. Okay, so it's good to have an app, but do have other channels as well, not to push customer in on one certain channel. Right, so here's a question about MirrorSuite. Do you have experience with MirrorSuite? As far as I understand with my limited technical knowledge, but basically that was the extension or plugin that was used with Magento for one of our case studies. You can go to our website, scandiweb.com, go to case studies, and you will see a case study with loyalty program where we specifically use this MirrorSuite for implementing custom functionality. So custom functionality was about adding, a way for users to get some points when interacting with something on the website. For example, submitting, subscribing for a newsletter, or I think it was even liking and sharing a post or something, or something else as well. But basically, MirrorSuite was something we used, yeah. So did you experience any limitations to custom fields with MirrorSuite? That's already in the too technical field. So I would really refer you to our technical team. So write to care@scandiweb.com and we'll refer you to the guys who know. Okay. Thank you, Martha. All right. Another question in the Q&A section. Have you developed any loyalty programs for gift-centric companies? And if so, do you have any insights as to how those programs were unique relative to non-gift-centric business models? So I'm not sure nothing comes on top of my mind right now. I would need to check with the team about this. But what comes to my mind as to how this companies could be different is basically what you're offering is gifts, right? So the offering of the rewards would be something around that. So what would be different is, of course, the offering, and but you would probably still be learning from the data of what type of gifts people are purchasing. Perhaps you would want to learn more about why they're purchasing exactly those gifts, right? To learn about trends. But I would say, like on top of my mind, that just the offering would be different, but the key principles of building a loyalty program should be similar. You still learn about the customers, you still use the data about that. You still go in a structured manner. So you go first with transactional, some discounts, or gift several gifts and you get a special offer, but then you go to more personalized offering, already knowing what a person usually likes to gift to customers. So it's kind of the same approach, I would say. But we can also discuss it in further detail with the team who had a straight hands-on experience with loyalty programs as well, in terms of technical. Okay, I'm just checking also whether there are some questions from Slack. I have 3 places where to check for questions: in my Slack from LinkedIn, in my webinar chat, and in the Q&A box. Okay. Too early for this, sorry. In case we have any more questions. But we are wrapping up. Before we wrap up, I'd like to announce the next webinar, which will be on SEO. Okay, so this will be about how to search engine optimize in 2023, right? We're still at the beginning of the year, even though it's been almost 3 weeks into a year, but we're still at the beginning where the outlook would be beneficial. So join on February 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern European time, where our SEO experts will tell you about that. Okay. Otherwise, thank you. I'm not seeing any more questions, and it's officially a wrap. Thank you very much.